The Carolina Panthers play their biggest game on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills, and they're going to most likely be out without their starting quarterback, Bryce Young, on Sunday with a sprained ankle. Dave Canales was on press conference today basically discussing the Bryce Young situation. Bryce Young was initially ruled out this morning. Dave Canales got on the podium about an hour later and basically said he's kind of day-to-day right now. Okay. What does that mean? I mean, it could be smokescreen really from Dave Canales. It's very possible because we're going up against the Bills and it's Andy Dalton's going to be his first start. You want to make the Bills think Bryce Young might have a chance to play on Sunday, right? The initial injury on Sunday when you're watching the game, it did not look that bad. Okay, which is why I think a lot of us are optimistic. I think Bryce Young might be able to go out there and play. I think it's like 70-30 right now in favor of Andy Dalton just because of the fact that will he be 100% on Sunday? That's the biggest question for Bryce Young. I think that's the biggest thing. Is he going to be 100%? If he's not 100%, I said this earlier as well. If Bryce Young is not 100%, there's no need to go out there with Bryce Young on Sunday. Okay, because I would rather Andy Dalton be at 100% and play him than Bryce Young be at 90%. Because we need him for the rest of the season. He's been a very good quarterback this year, to say the least. His ability to use his legs this year is just going to be a factor, okay? And that's why I want him to play on Sunday as well really bad because of his ability to use his legs. And if he's 100%, he has to be the starter because of that reason, man. Again, that touchdown pass to XL on Sunday where he scrambled out, kind of waited. XL kind of, made a great play on the ball, turned around, and Bryce hit him on that. When he does not fumble the ball, Bryce Young with his legs is very lethal, and that's why he's so effective this year as a quarterback. And again, he's not put up the insane numbers, right? If you're a stat watcher, obviously the turnovers, the fumbles, that looks bad on Bryce Young. But if you watch the games, this has been his best season by far, easily. He has 12 touchdowns right now in the season. 5 interceptions. Obviously, you can count the fumbles. He has total 9 turnovers right now to 12 touchdowns. He's been very good this year, like very good. Obviously, the 12 touchdowns to the 5 interceptions. And if Andy Dalton does go out there and play this Sunday, which I assume he will be, I'm going to say right now for all the Panthers fans that are optimistic, I do think Bryce Young will be sitting on Sunday just because of the fact that if it is a sprained ankle, it takes about a week to heal, and next Sunday will be a week from now. But if he's not 100%, like if Bryce Young is not going in there telling Dave Canales, I feel great, I'm 100%, let's do this, there's no reason why you put him out there on Sunday because you need him for the rest of the year. Yes, this is the biggest game. It sucks that he got injured, and this was a really big opportunity. But honestly, if Andy Dalton was out there and playing, he can give you some snaps, right? Like Andy Dalton was accurate last year, playing. He's not this great quarterback anymore. He's not going to be as effective with his legs. Okay. And on Sunday against the Jets, the pass rush got to Bryce Young. So if you're Andy Dalton, you need to make sure that if he's out there on Sunday, you need to make sure if you're Andy Dalton, you find a way not to get sacked. You got to get the ball out quick. And we know that Andy Dalton is pretty good at getting the ball out quick, right? Which is he probably favors Bryce in that situation when it comes to getting the ball out quick. Who's better? I would probably say Andy Dalton. Okay, but that's the first thing I think when it comes to Andy on Sunday. If he is starting, he needs to get the ball out quick because that pass rush is going to get home. The Bills are 4th currently in passing defense allowed so far. Again, rushing defense is what they are not necessarily good at this year. They're currently sitting at 17 in the league. Okay, so if you're the Panthers, your game plan going into Sunday needs to be running the football. And I mentioned this on Twitter. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, it's at Panther Plug on Twitter. I basically said this is going to be another Rico game. Okay. And obviously there's a debate going on if Chuba should start compared to Rico after that game on Sunday. Who should be the starter? Listen, for me personally, I think Rico should probably start because he has the hot hand right now. I said on Sunday, before Sunday, I said, you need to go split carries. I love the way Dave Canales ran the offense, right? Giving each back a drive and a drive and drive. Let's see how it goes, right? Because Chuba, before Rico went down, a lot of people don't understand, before Rico did go down, Chuba was averaging 4 yards a carry. That's efficient football, okay? On Sunday, he did not play very good. He averaged 2.2 yards a carry. Rico Dowdle averaged almost 5 yards a carry once again on Sunday with those 17 carries, 96 yards on the ground for us against the New York Jets. So if you're Dave Canales, you need to run the ball. If Andy Dalton's out there, that needs to be the formula. Even if Bryce is out there, your formula against the Bills on Sunday needs to be running the football. Okay, but especially with Andy, okay, because this is going to be, you have momentum right now with the offense, okay? You're sitting your starting quarterback if he's injured against the best team you're going to face all year with the Bills. This is a big game. If you win this game as the Panthers with a backup quarterback, this makes a statement. That's why I also kind of like, I'm okay with Andy starting because Andy's a competent backup quarterback. Okay, he's competent. He's not bad. I think Bryce is better this year. He's just better, right? His ability to use his legs just simply makes him better than Andy right now with Andy being older. Okay. But if Andy needs to step in one game, I'm okay with that because his ability to get the ball out quick, be accurate at times is there still as an NFL quarterback. But if you're Andy Dalton, you need to get the ball out quick. You need to make sure you don't turn the ball over. Be a game manager, okay? Be what Bryce Young's been all year, where you're not seeing him throw for 250 plus yards a game. Run the ball. You run this offense through Rico and Chuba. If you decide to split carries again, it's going to be interesting to see how we use those two running backs again. But if you're going to split carries again, just do it again. Okay, run this offense through the run game. Should be pretty simple, I think, if you're Dave Canales when you're running this offense. Okay, and now talking about the receivers, because the receivers are big when it comes to Andy, right? I mean, Andy, with XL out there, I think Andy does give XL more opportunities to catch footballs. We saw him throw the ball to XL last week. I don't care because he had 9 catches for 95 yards. I don't know exactly how many catches out of those were from Bryce and were from Andy. Andy was out there for only threw the ball 6 times. So I don't think most of those pass attempts were to XO. He did have a catch. It was kind of behind him, but it was XO caught it for a first down. It's going to be interesting because I think Andy can make plays, okay? But I think, again, my biggest statement is you need to run this offense around Rico and Chuba. That needs to be your number one thing that you do if you're Dave Canales. You cannot pass the ball 40 times any down. Unless you go down, you have to. Right? If you run the ball the way we've been effective this year, Rico right now is leading the NFL in yards per carry. He is top 3 in rushing yards, by the way, and has only really started 3 games. Didn't even start last game. Only started 2 games, had 2 monster games, and every other, all the other 5 games that he's played so far this year, he was behind Chuba Hubbard. And he's top 3 in rushing yards and number 1 in yards per carry in the NFL right now. He's simply averaging almost 6 yards a carry right now in the NFL. That's recipe for success. You gotta run the ball. That needs to be the formula on Sunday against the Bills. As I mentioned, that was my 50th time, mentioning it. But back to receiver core, Jalen Coker was not really out there making plays on Sunday. I think it was kind of just getting used to the game a little bit more. Jalen Coker is going to be a dog, man. I've been saying this since the offseason. Jalen Coker is going to be a good player. This team is best if T-Mac, XL, and Coker pan out. If all 3 of them pan out, you have a good receiving core for the future for Bryce. Okay, T-Mac's obviously been kind of dropping a little bit, had 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys, but his yardage has been kind of low the last 2 weeks. But he's still an effective receiver as a rookie. He's still doing his thing. And we got to stop expecting this guy to have 1,500 yards in the first season as we're doing as Panther fans. XL taking baby steps last week against the Jets was a big time step for Xavier Legette. And that's all we ask from the guy is just taking baby steps game by game for XL. Jalen Coker come back from injury. Again, I just need Andy Dalton will look at everybody. Okay, that's the thing with Andy is when he throws the ball, he's going to make the right decision. That's the biggest thing. That's what we need him to be on Sunday. We don't need him to be this insane game changer. We just need him to make the right plays on third down. We need him to make the right reads, make the right throws, and I think he can do it. And he will do it. Okay, but we do not need him to be the best player for us on Sunday because we have guys like Rico and Chuba Hubbard in the backfield who's going to be able to do that for us on Sunday in the run game. So if you guys had if you guys can't tell, I want Bryce to play personally, but in my opinion, as I stated before, if he can't play, he can't play. I would rather Andy go out there and play than Bryce go out there at 80, 90% and go out there and hurt his ankle even more potentially. I want him to be 100% because if he goes out there at 90 and tweaks his ankle again and is out for a longer period of time, you messed up. Andy can play one game and he can, get this offense rallied around him and you have a good enough running back duo where you can do enough to keep this game competitive and even win this game. Because the Bills are in a slump right now. They're 4-2. They just came off a loss against the Falcons, obviously. They're on a bye week. That's kind of what's scaring me because I feel like they're on a bye week. They can think about it more. But if you're the Panthers, the recipe's there. Run the ball like the Falcons did with Bijan and Tyler Algier when they beat the Bills. It's there. With Bryce or Andy Dalton, do that. Again, Bryce, I think, has a little more playmaking ability on third downs, back up. If there's pressure, he can run. Even though he hasn't really done running a lot lately, it seems like there's a lot of lanes he can take, but doesn't take them. We can talk about that later. But the recipe's there, man. So if you're the Panthers, if you're Dave Canales, it's simple. Bryce or Andy, run the ball. But yeah, it was curious. It was weird that Dave Canales mentioned that he was dated for this week and not actually officially out. Could be smokescreen very well. I do think by the time we get to Sunday, he won't play. I think it's 70-30 right now. I do think they're going to try to make him play. I don't think it's smokescreen, really. I really don't, but at the same time, I do. That's why it's kind of 70-30 because it's 30% Bryce because I feel like it could not be smokescreen, right? To the point where I think they're actually Bryce wants to play really bad, and Dave Canales wants his quarterback to go out there and play. So they're going to try their best, and it's like a game time decision. By the same time, it's an ankle sprain, and it's just going to be hard to actually come out here and in a week change that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thoughts I have about this Andy and Bryce situation, man. Andy, I think will start. I think he's going to play on Sunday. It's going to be a big thing. We're 7 away from 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to ask you guys to get me there in this video. I appreciate all y'all for allowing me to get this far. We're continuing to grow. I'm going to have merch coming out soon for you guys. We're going to have some big things for this channel. We're trying to grow as fast as possible. The grind is real right now. We're doing what we need to do to get you guys content every single week. I'm going to have a film breakdown coming out Wednesday as well. So stay tuned for that. Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to have the film breakdown come out when we're watching breakdown film with you guys. And then Friday night, we'll go live. And Sunday night, we'll go live after the game. So if you guys are new, subscribe for me. That being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.